Hi everyone. In this video, I'd like to talk to you about ways you can make your course more accessible and easier to use for everyone. Now, the first thing that's been identified is using a heading structure when using Word in Blackboard. And I'm going to describe what this means, but the benefit of it is that screen readers can clearly see the headings, and actually other software can also. So it's just a good habit, and you'll find it's a lot easier to create a document using headings than to not. And how that works is I've got a heading right here, and instead of changing my fonts over here like we normally would, I come to styles and I'm going to use a heading 1 style. Now you might be saying, well, I don't like this blue and I don't like the size and etc. Well, if I go to right click on heading 1, I can go to modify, and here's where I can control all of that for that style and anything else. So I'm going to click OK. I changed the style. Now it changes any instance of that style in my document. And then in the future, and I'm going to come down here, let's see, maybe my next steps is my next heading. Now, when I highlight that text, instead of changing the font over here, I can go to heading 1 and it remembers all of those details and I don't have to. And now if I change it, it'll change it in both places. So heading 1 and then heading 2 are what you want to use. Now, how does that work in Blackboard? So if I go to Blackboard and I'm going to add an item, and what I'll do is I'm going to go down to the text section. Let's say I have part 1. Well, I can highlight part 1, and you see where it says paragraph? If you click the drop down arrow, I could use subheading 1 or subheading 2. And what's great about this is this tells that reader that, okay, here's the title and here's subheading 1, and it can skip down to those sections. And also you're consistent with the font usage. So that's the headings. Now let's go back to Word and look at some of the other keys. Now, here's another section which is on using alternative text. So just some keys for you. If you're going to use complex images and diagrams, you want to provide detailed information. The Diagram Center, if you do a search, they're a great resource for providing more details with that. If you're using a decorative image, let's say there's just a little squiggle between sections, you really can ignore that. So the recommendation is that you don't put in an alternative text tag, and what'll happen is the screen reader will skip that. If you're using logos and the logos have text in them, put that text right in the alternative text tag. Now, here's the key though. I remember to do this in Blackboard a lot of times, but I forget in Word and PowerPoint, and I didn't know how to do that until recently. So let's pretend that I'm adding an image right to this document. So I'm going to insert a picture quickly, and I'm inserting the snowman. Now to get to the alternative text, I'm going to right click, go to Format Picture. The third icon is Layout and Properties. I'll go to Layout and Properties, and there's alternative text. And that's all I really need to do for this. Just in case you're wondering, the same process will work in PowerPoint. So I'm going to insert a picture, and I can right click, go to Format Picture, the third icon, which is Size and Properties, go down to Alternative Text, type in, and that's all there is to it. Just a review, in Blackboard, if you're going to insert a picture there, I can insert the picture. I can find it on my computer. We'll take the same picture, and I can put the image description in. I'll insert that, and there we go. All right, so that's the alternative text. Let's go back to our list and talk about links. So your web links need to be self-describing. A lot of times, and I do this quite a bit, it'll say, click here to visit the FETC website. Well, when you say click here, or just click here, if they see that a number of times, the screen reader, it's difficult for the person who's listening. So use FETC website or something like that. The other thing is you do not want to put long links in the description in Blackboard, because the screen reader will actually read out that big long URL. So please use text in its place. And to do that, I'm going to go to, first I'm going to type the text. We'll do the Weather Channel. And I'll highlight the text I want to be the link. I'll click the link button. And here's where I'll put in my link, and I'm going to copy and paste that. So I have the link. Now the target, I want this to open in a new window, and then I'll click Insert, and there it is. So instead of putting the HTTPS/ all of that stuff, you want it to be a link, and you want it to be self-describing. You do not want it to say click here. So whatever website is a good option for you. Okay, back to Word and our list. Okay, so the last items to create a list, use the bulleted list and numbered list tools in Word, PowerPoint, and Blackboard. So don't just type your list, use these tools up here. That'll help the screen reader work much more effectively. And in Blackboard, again, we have a bulleted list and a numbered list. So those are important tools. And the last bit, avoid using tables if possible. So instead of using tables, try to use lists, because it's more difficult for that screen reader. So here are a few tips that can be helpful. Thanks, and have a great day.